Reese, thank you. What an incredible day of college basketball. And we start with the SEC on ESPN from Columbia, Missouri, where the Tigers and Wildcats meet as ranked opponents for the first time in series history. Number 19 versus number 15, and two teams that love to get up and down the floor. With that, we walk the courtside. Tom Hart alongside Dane Bradshaw. What is seen inside Mizzou Arena already today. To put the pace into local parlance for both schools, it's kind of like Carl Edwards running in Keeneland. Both teams are going to go fast. We expect a lot of laps today.
Yeah, neither is going to take their foot off the gas. Coach Gates told us that earlier today. These teams love to play with pace, space. They like to shoot the three, attack the rim. They don't slow down for anybody. This could be the highest scoring game in all of college basketball today.
The numbers don't lie. Two of the top scoring teams in all of college basketball this final Saturday of the regular season, and a Missouri team that has certainly picked up the pace and is looking to finish as high as number 4 in the SEC. They didn't win, need to get some help, but that would come with it a double bye, so a lot on the line for the Tigers today.
I think the key to trying to tame the Tigers is Kentucky's Lamont Butler. This guy is the head of the snake defensively. He's their veteran point guard. Now that he's starting to get the rust off of him after those injuries during conference play, he's the key for Kentucky.
The 19th meeting all time between Kentucky and Missouri. The Cats have won 15 of those meetings. It started back in 1960. Should be a fun one today. This morning start in Como. And the tip is controlled by the Cats. They come in at 20 and 10. Trying to finish above 500 in league play. A Wednesday win against LSU. It was a cakewalk in the final home game of the year. Here's Lamont Butler. He's been playing injured. You see the shoulder brace. And he gets into the paint with a spin on the freshman point guard Anthony Robinson. That'll be a key matchup today if Robinson can stay out of foul trouble. Look at the starters for Missouri. It is senior day for this Tigers team. Caleb Grill, their best offensive player, is a senior. He comes off the bench. Bates gets cut off. Here's Mark Mitchell. The Duke transfer has been sensational for Mizzou this year. 4 on the clock. He got deep, maybe too deep. And it's rebounded by Andrew Carr. Kentucky coming off of a win against LSU. Missouri coming off of a midweek loss against Oklahoma. They allowed 96 to the Sooners. And Mark Pope is happy to have this starting 5 together for the 3rd straight game now. They haven't had much lineup consistency since injuries started piling up in mid-January. They take Oweh off the mark.
You see how quickly Kentucky gets back defensively. They've got to get ahead of Missouri, who loves to push the pace. They like to skip it across the side of the court, try to get advantage on the opposite.
Great, not much of a scoring threat. Here's Samar Bates downhill. Got by Carr and rolls it home.
Those straight line drives by Missouri are really dangerous, especially Bates going to that strong hand.
Carr's been bothered by a back injury a good chunk of the season. Seems like he is back full go. Here's Amari Williams out to Carr. 8 to shoot. Working on Mitchell. Now 5 to shoot. Williams forces up the mid-range shot. Kentucky out of sync on the offensive end early.
Well, and 3 straight pull-up mid-range shots for Kentucky to start this.
Bates no, and it's rebounded by Amari Williams, who's 2nd in the league in boards. Goes down 9 a game. Butler with a kick out. Brea swings it. And now Carr for 3. Good ball movement.
Well, terrific extra pass by Brea to trust his teammates. Brea is one of the best three-point shooters in the country, but still makes the open one.
Here's Anthony Robinson the 2nd. He's been shooting the ball well lately, but when he's in foul trouble, it usually leads to the Missouri loss. Nice back cut. Finds his own miss. Gray can't squeeze the rebound. The loose ball is picked up by Mitchell. Shoved out to Perkins with bodies on the floor. The three's good. And Missouri's in front by 2. Great effort by Missouri in that possession. Carr can't answer it. And that's going to get stuck. Dane, jump up there and get that basket.
Well, Look at this hustle here. You're sitting there diving on the floor, and you got a 260-pound teammate sitting on your head, but you'll do whatever it takes as you kick it out. Perkins, nice shot fake, get the defender in there, knock it down as this crowd erupts early.
The stoic Dennis Gates, watch the basketball, gets knocked off the top of the backboard by Tony Perkins in a broom. Third season as Missouri's home man. They are a different team in this building than they've been on the road.
They've been outstanding, and we've talked a lot about the pace, but their ability to get to the free throw line is what has really changed this team from last year to this year.
Dane, the TV announcer said this is going to be a high-scoring game, but the teams have started 3 for 11 combined.
Well, and I think a lot of it, too, is trying to figure out one another. Missouri's a team that likes to switch a ton defensively, so Kentucky's got to try to figure out what matchups they want, where they can find the slips, and some of those counters to the switching Missouri team.
What a year it's been for Mark Pope. He was left with a bare cupboard. He built this team from scratch, and they got off to an incredible start, including the win in Atlanta against Duke. Kentucky won its first 5 against top 25 opponents, and it was easy to see that Mark Pope was ahead of schedule in building this program in Kentucky.
Well, they got some confidence with those key non-conference wins early, and it had been a perfect ride as they've had their share of adversity with the injuries, and of course with Jackson Robinson out for the season. At least they know what they got now, and having Lamont Butler, again, 1 in blue, especially when you enter March and so much of it's about guard play, they've got a great one.
Here's Perkins again, off the back of the rim. Robinson, another offensive rebound for the point guard, and he draws a bump. It's the first on Lamont Butler.
And that is a big play by Robinson. You beat Butler to the loose ball situation off the offensive rebound, and he was intentional about trying to draw contact. Dennis Gates wants to get Butler in foul trouble early. They know this Kentucky team is not the same with one on the bench. Great job by the young point guard Robinson to initiate the contact there.
On a home game for senior Caleb Grill, who's a top 10 offensive player according to Ken Pom. He was as efficient as they come. Second in the SEC at 43% from 3. He is a bucket. Here they go to Grill immediately, looking for Bates off the screen. Harassed by Owe. Mitchell behind Perkins. 9 to shoot. Bates tees it up. And a big rebound ripped down by Brandon Garrison. Intercepted by Perkins as the catch tried to push it. Tony Perkins, nobody stops the basketball, and he finishes with his left. What a fantastic crowd and environment on this Saturday morning in Columbia, Missouri, between number 19 Kentucky and 15th ranked Mizzou. Garrison thought about it. After hesitation, he puts up an air ball. Not the start that the Cats had in mind. Kentucky 1 for 6 from the floor, and Missouri's transition game is going early. When we return, we'll have a breakdown of what makes Missouri's running so effective. Well, Missouri's a top 10 scoring team, and they're that way because they get 18 a game in transition.
Yeah, and a lot of that can be on these live ball turnovers. They do not hesitate. They are looking to push. They are committed to the pace, and they have great spacing in their transition. If you want any chance at beating Missouri and slowing them down on the offensive end, you better get back in transition, take care of the ball. Look how effective they are. However, if you can stop them, as we take a look at what's already happened today with Perkins, he's going to get this thing and push it up the court. Nobody stops the ball and just takes it right at the defender. Again, they're getting to the free throw line extremely well. The transition's great, but take a look in their last 3 losses, just 8 transition points. Tamar Bates, one of the keys to that, he's got 25 transition points in those 3 wins, 0 in those losses. So that has to be a point of emphasis for Kentucky.
They were talking to Dennis Gates about the keys for his team today after their morning shoot-around. Early start for this Mizzou team, by the way. And he said, we cannot foul. We cannot put the other team at the free throw line. It limits how often we get to the free throw line, and it certainly has an impact on transition. Here's Grill off the screen, working on Chandler, who's just into the game for the Cats. Contested 2, and it's rebounded by Garrison.
Missouri's done a really nice job defending without fouling, but also keeping Kentucky away from the paint. It's been all mid-range shots, and that's where Missouri has really got crushed in some of their recent losses, is in the paint.
Kentucky has had issues at the point guard position going all the way back to the Gonzaga game when Kirk Risa was injured and eventually lost for the season. Lamont Butler has been in and out of the lineup due to health issues. Jackson Robinson was one of the backup point guards. He's not available for the rest of the year. And so we see Colin Chandler running the point right now for Kentucky, and that is less than ideal for this Cats team.
And that's made it so hard for Kentucky to figure out what their rotations are, where the minutes are, what the best five is at what point in time during the game. It's been a really big challenge for Coach Pope.
Here's Garrison. Nearly walked with it. It's a shot clock violation. Kentucky, Dane, is third in the country in scoring. They don't look like that so far today.
No, and I think Garrison's got to have better awareness. We've seen him take an early three that he airballed with 10 seconds still on the clock. That time the clock was going down, and I don't think he realized just how low the shot clock was. That's what happens when you have one of these big road environments. This team is well tested right now, playing a little bit rattled.
Mark Mitchell gets into the paint and gets into Garrison to draw the whistle.
And I think this also goes back to the situation with Kentucky. You don't have much depth, but I also don't think you want to just play Butler and Williams 38-plus minutes. You've got to trust the rest of the crew to try to sustain, buy those guys a little bit of time, but you see this is a completely different team offensively and defensively.
College basketball rivalry games highlight the rest of our schedule today, including Auburn playing host to number 7 Alabama as the Tigers come off their loss to Texas A&M. Then Arizona goes into Allen Fieldhouse to take on Kansas, and we finish with Duke and Carolina, both Sonic blockbusters. Well, Duke and Carolina come in on 5-game winning streaks. Mitchell can't convert at the free throw line. Noah gives it up to Chandler. Martin Williams is back on the floor. I had a long chat with Kentucky head coach Mark Pope last night at their shoot-around in regard to his substitution patterns. Drill, gambled, Carr into the corner for Chandler. There's a trap. Noah all alone underneath gives it up. And a hectic possession ends with a foul. Mark Pope, when the season began, had a focus on keeping the freshest legs as possible in the game. He said, we've done studies ad nauseum about our guys and how long they can go. This guy can go 4 minutes in a row. This guy can go 6 minutes. He said Brandon Garrison is a guy who can go the longest, but it takes him a while to get ramped up. He said, I'm coming to play. But while I focus on fatigue, then it's defensive assignment. And that's followed by matchup. And then that's followed by who you're on the floor with. He said it's kind of like keeping the plate spinning, 5 different plates spinning at the same time.
Well, and that's where your staff really comes into play, because you're not only trying to manage your own minutes, you're looking at what the other team has in the game as well as they substitute. They might come in with a big lineup, or they might come in with a lineup with a guy that's not as good defensively that you want your best player attacking. So truly a chess match that you can come in the game with a plan, but you better be willing to adjust in-game.
It's the first point for Kentucky over a 3.5-minute span. Missouri had scored the previous 6. Carr gets a breather. Ainsley Almanor enters for the Cats for the first time. Robinson. Butler thought he pushed off to get open. Shot clock at 10 now. Anthony Robinson, sophomore, gets tied up by Lamont Butler, and that is the second on Lamont Butler early on. What did Dennis Gates tell us early this morning? He said Lamont Butler is the key. We've got to be able to attack him and get him off the floor.
Force the officials to make a call. That's why Robinson has been ball heavy in this game. Not because he's over dribbling, but because he's trying to go at Butler. Dennis Gates so stoic on the sideline, but I can promise you he was cheering inside when the officials called that second hand check.
Anthony Robinson, the second, has had a breakout season for Missouri after a decent freshman year. Sidestep 3. And the rebound is corralled by Missouri, but another foul against Kentucky will go against Colin Chandler.
His first personal, 14 foul.
That is already the 14th foul on Kentucky here, 6.5 minutes in. Missouri is one of the best teams in the country getting to the free throw line, and you see why. They've already piled it up, and they should be in the bonus shortly. Butler will get a breather.
And they just got destroyed last year at their inability to get to the free throw line, and on the other end, putting teams on the stripe, and that's been such a huge key to their turnaround. They've done it with personnel, they've done it with emphasis on getting to the rack.
Mitchell, strong move down the lane. They left it short. the year Amari Williams has had. 11 points, 9 boards a game for the transfer from Drexel. Oweh floater, no good.
Yeah, but that's where they had the switch. Oweh's got to pull that out and give Williams the ball. He had a guard on him.
Grill lets it fly. And Gray fouled from behind by Ortega Oweh. It's a first on 0-0. Kentucky has started his game 1 for 7 from the floor. The only make was an Andrew Carr 3.
Well, and take a look at Williams. He's going to have the guard on him down low. You've got to get the 7-footer of the ball here. That's what Missouri wants you to do, is shoot a contested tough 2 over Mitchell. You got to be able to recognize when the switch happens, get it to your big man down low. That's all day on that block for the left hand. Williams.
Grill takes the handoff, fires again. Go! Big break for Caleb Grill. When he gets going, he can start rolling.
I watched him last night getting shots up. He made 17 straight threes from almost that same spot. I don't think any of them even hit the rim.
He was injured last year. Missouri was 7-2 with Caleb Grill. The Tigers were 1-22 without him. Oweh beats him back door, but then Perkins bails him out. They say it's Kentucky basketball. That lone man helping is a key component of Missouri's defense.
It is, especially with their switching. You got to be able to come over and try to stop that side here. They want that back line defender to help on those slips.
Another Missouri takeaway. Robinson leading 4-on-2. Out to Grill. Great recovery by Kentucky. Noah was back in time, but it gets to the other side. That 3 is off.
And I love what Missouri does there. They play zone on baseline out of bounds situations. And to me, I think more teams should do that. They're getting scored throughout college basketball. Those baseline out of bounds and zone typically takes that away. Missouri got a steal on the last one.
It's a first on Anthony Robinson, who's been in foul trouble in 11 of Missouri's 30 games this season. Travis Perry enters. Trent Noah is on the floor right now. So 2 subs on the floor with 3 starters. Cats haven't made a field goal in 5.5 minutes.
See if you could get Kobe Gray on some sort of dribble handoff, get your best 3-point shooter of the ball.
Kick out for Noah. Splash. 37% from 3. The Mountain Mamba gets his first jumper to go.
I think playing in the center of the court there, again, through Williams, who has that great court vision, whether it's backdoor passes or the singles all now.
Robinson bailed out by the block by Williams after he beat Noah. Now Noah again. And Amari Williams is there again. Another opportunity for Kentucky. Oweh, spin move. Williams battling as much as he can, but Gray pulled down that rebound. Mark Mitchell with the left hand, falls off the rim, and it's out of bounds to Kentucky.
Oh, this 2 high-scoring offenses, 2 of the top 3-point shooting teams in the SEC. No better flamethrower than Caleb Grill. But Kentucky with the answer as Noah knocks it down from deep.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by ESPN Tournament Challenge. Play the #1 bracket game. Missouri and Kentucky doing their best as bracketology comes down the home stretch to try and increase their seeding. So here's a look at the game summary so far. Kentucky hasn't made a 2 yet. 2 for 11 from the floor. Missouri's got 6 second chance points off 5 offensive boards.
Yeah, when Kentucky has gotten to the paint, it's been settling from that 5 to 8 foot range. And Missouri has really answered the challenge. And I think they've started to take it personal. I mean, that last game, Oklahoma just went right at them all game long, whether it's with their bigs or with the guards, straight line drives. Missouri's defense really is stepping up on their home court right now.
Mark Williams kicks it into the corner. He's a great passing big man. Mark Pope says it's not by mistake. They do a great job training their bigs at both vision and having great hands to be elite passers. He missed on an assist on the Brea miss from the corner. Big lineup from Missouri with Gray at the 5 and Mitchell at the 4, and a Tigers turnover gives it back to Kentucky. What are you seeing from Kentucky's offense here in the first 10 minutes?
Well, settling for some really tough shots on the interior, of course. They've gotten late in the clock. I'm okay with that quick shot by Brea, though. I mean, you got to be catch and shoot ready. When you're that good of a three-point shooter, you're not going to have much time.
Brea trying to go over Mitchell in the eye.
And he's done that all season long. Sometimes he'll turn down the first cleaner look and then size up the defender and shoot the more challenged look and still gets the result Coach Pope wants in the end.
Fourth in the country, 44% from deep. Kentucky now on a 6-0 run. Mitchell back out to Robinson. Robinson has it rejected by Williams. Gray, 4 to shoot. Robinson again, 2 to shoot. Stripped by Oweh. Fantastic effort by Kentucky. It's a shot clock violation, and they finally will stop play. Dennis Gates insisting that he already had possession, and it shouldn't have been a shot clock violation.
I think they probably should have blown it dead sooner, but because they didn't blow it dead, to Dennis Gates' point, hey, there was a possession recovery. He tries to throw the ball here. There wasn't a clean recovery. It didn't look like in real time. But usually that results in a controlled catch. If you're going to save the ball out of bounds and throw it in, I think that's Dennis Gates' point is, hey, that was a controlled catch, meaning Kentucky got possession, turned it over, should have been a reset of the shot clock.
Following plays under review as far as the shot clock possible violation or not.
Don Daly and company will take a further look. We've got a fantastic crew working this game today, including Jeff Hartness and Lucas Santos. So here's Robinson after getting stripped by Oweh, and the question Dane's going to get some clarification will be if there was possession by Otego Oweh in the corner. What else did Mr. Santos have to say?
That's what they're going to take a look at is, did the shot clock expire before that controlled catch by Kentucky on the dive for the loose ball? And then, of course, a timing situation. If that did occur, how much time went off what should have been a shot clock? Yeah.
I got the ball loose before Oweh had possession.
I agree. And I think they were just delayed. You see the officials haven't called for a shot clock
After
violation.
review, the shot clock violation stands.
Yeah, when it's a timing issue, you can go further back than you ordinarily would on, say, a goaltending situation or ball out of bounds. When it's a timing issue, they can rewind it a little bit further back as they did there. I think it's the right call.
You think this game matters to these teams? I mean, they're both top 10 in the country in scoring. We've already had 3 shot clock violations this morning.
They are playing some defense. They're hustling. I think this crowd, the energy, and what a perfect way to cap off just a remarkable SEC conference season by 2 top 20 teams going head-to-head right now.
It's the first of many massive matchups in the league today, including Auburn and Alabama to follow in their rematch. Williams, 3 assists a game. Noah gets cut off. 3 to shoot. Bray is going to have to hurry. Instead, he gives it up and deep in the corner for 3. Huge bucket for Travis Perry, the freshman out of Lyon County High School.
Now, that was perfect shot clock awareness. I thought Bray was going to have to force up a tough shot, but he knew he had just enough time to find a shooter in the corner.
Back cut by Grill and pinball around after the Mari Williams steal. Cats up 2, looking to add to it. Oweh gets by Bates. Gray was waiting. And into the hands of Caleb Grill. Stolen away by Oweh. To be the first 2 of the game for Kentucky after making 4 threes.
And where that really hurts is Oweh was struggling. He was 0 for 5, and you never want a great scorer to get an easy bucket, and that's what Oweh did right there.
Missouri uses a timeout. We're back in half a minute.
The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor tracks your glucose in real time. And over time, it can help lower your A1C. This is progress. Learn more and try for free at freestylelibre.us.
Pro-enamel, clinical enamel strength, can help us to keep our enamel for a lifetime. It's backed by science. It is clinically proven to strengthen our teeth. I would recommend this toothpaste to everybody. It's really an amazing product.
Cats are rolling now. 11-0 run for UK.
And they've had it late in the shot clock, and we saw early in the game they weren't making great decisions late clock, but that was perfect there. And then Owe just picks his pockets and says, cookies. Easy 2 for Owe.
Is that what he said, cookies?
Probably.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. It was a slow start, and that's their first 2 that Kentucky has made. But 4 for 7 from deep, and now the Cats up 4 biggins. Kind of thought the first to 90 would win this game, but the pace certainly not living up to the resumes for each squad. Missouri has turned it over 4 times in the last 4 minutes, and now another whistle against Kentucky. And that'll be the second on Otega Owe. Owe's got 2, Lamont Butler has 2.
Personal, 6th team foul. Checking into the Wildcats, number 7, Andrew Carr.
This is a Kentucky team that came into the season completely rebuilt when John Calipari left for Arkansas. And Mark Pope basically started from scratch. He brought Jackson Robinson with him from BYU. Colin Chandler was going to head to BYU, brought him along. 0 holdovers among rotational players from last year's team. Wow, Gray just dump trucked his way to the rim.
I was waiting for a turnaround jump hook, and he's like, no, I'm going to bury this dude and go on his head. Rarely do you see somebody get to the rim and finish over the top on a back down play like that.
Put Carr in his pocket. Brea fires from the logo. Why not?
We've got 2 of the purest shooters in the world out here tonight with Brea and Grill.
Mar Bates, who's senior, with a pull-up jumper off the back of the rim. He's only got 2 points here in the first half. 13-point score per game. And a Kentucky turnover. 18-13, Cats use an 11-0 run to jump ahead.
Well, rarely do you say mouse in the house when the other team's center's guarding you, but that's what happens when you're a 7-footer Gray. And then how about Brea pulls up, just says, you're going to back off me? If I can see it, I can make it.
All right, time to play stop the fast break.
That is must-see TV.
Give her the ball!
Are you kidding me? And it's a tie game.
He drains it! I can't believe what I am witnessing.
The streak lives.
He's in for the win. Coverage from Nashville begins March 12th. It'll be an SEC tournament unlike any other. Prime Crew will be there with Shulman and Billis. Ravi and Jimmy have the other side of the bracket. Bubblicious games on Wednesday if it started today, and plenty of games everyone's playing today, so there'll be some shuffling. But Georgia and Texas will be important. Arkansas and Oklahoma, doubly important.
Yeah, the most relevant first round I think we've ever seen at the SEC tournament. As you mentioned, all these teams, so much on the line, and plenty of bubble teams where you feel like win, get in, and while it's a...
Perkins is right down the pipe.
Well, and that's all Dennis Gates. Set play out of the timeout. They saw something on film, and then shoot around. They went over that exact scenario with some ball screen action to get them going downhill.
Perry tees one up. That's off the mark. And Missouri with an opportunity to push. Here's Pierce. And he takes the ball with him to the ground, and a whistle will go against Kentucky. Missouri in the bonus at 7:04. It's a second on Brandon Garrison.
Well, see how Perkins is going to come off this screen, and look at Grill. He's going to set that second screen. So what they saw was the big man likes to have that drop coverage. And so they have a second screener, Grill, set that second ball screen. Makes it really challenging on the defense. And again, just you get this late in the season. Everybody knows what the other opponent's going to do. What wrinkle and counter can you throw in to try to pick up 4 to 6 points a game? And you saw one right there by Dennis Gates, setting that double ball screen that Kentucky probably hadn't seen, at least not on film with this Missouri team.
1-on-1 for Trent Pierce. Empty visit, just 59% from the line. Here's Amari Williams into Brea. Pierce was there to cut him off, and they get Pierce for reaching.
And if there's one thing that you might consider doing, is just staying more glued to the perimeter players, because Amari Williams, as good of a passer as he is, he's driving to pass, and when he's that far out, that's something Auburn did pretty effective. They switched on the perimeter, and they basically said, look, Williams, you get all the shots you want. We'll let you play one-on-one. Just don't be a distributor as well.
Missouri was zoned. They didn't recover in time, but Pats didn't find Travis Perry, who was wide open. Noah lobs it into Carr. Takes it up strong on Perkins.
And a great job by Noah, again, recognizing where the switch and advantage was. No backside help. Good patience by Carr down low.
Tony Perkins has 7 early for Missouri, including that tomahawk dunk. Here's Mitchell for 3. He don't hit many of them, but he hits big ones and a huge one to secure the win against Kansas back in December. Just 23% from 3. Brea cut off, gets it inside, and Perry has it sent the other way, and then Perry steals it back. Williams point blank. Fantastic effort by Travis Perry, like he was trying to beat the crowds into the Venture River Water Park outside of Edinburgh. 4-point Kentucky lead. Perkins penetrates, fade away. Kentucky shooting just 38% so far, but a 4-point Cats lead.
The ball movement, back cuts, the ball has not been sticking in the half court for Kentucky here in the last few possessions.
Perry got in the paint, turned it over.
Yeah, you just can't keep it in all that traffic. Get the ball out, get it reversed.
Grill with a step on Carr, lost it on his way in, and then the whistle. And they'll get Andrew Carr for his first. It's a busy weekend for the Grill family. He was out getting up shots late last night. He said, I got a lot of basketball to watch. His dad and mom made the game today. His father, Chris, is the head coach at Mays High School in Wichita. There's his mom, Lena, alongside. Huge win for Mays. He upset Wichita Northwest in the Kansas playoffs last night, won by 9. So they will go to the 6A state playoffs in Kansas. They get the #1 seed, Shawnee Mission South. And his brother Kyle, who plays at Fort Hays State, is in action this afternoon in the MIAA tournament with a chance to maybe make the Division II national tournament. Do you think the Grills have seen some basketball in their days?
I think their blood pressure is pretty high around March. I mean, they're probably thinking, why do we do this to ourselves? We just go from stress gym to stress gym. And they got some winners, man. And Caleb Grill, I've loved watching him evolve over the course of his career. And C.Y. Young, the assistant coach, really taught him how to be on balance more, spreading his feet just a little bit. And that's what's catapulted his three-point shooting percentage from 30 to one of the best in the country, over 40.
1-3-1 look for Missouri for the first time. Hard screen from Williams. And the payoff is Williams gets fouled, and Grill dropped to his knees after taking that shot.
Always a good option when you can ball screen the top of that zone. And Williams such a big body that if you can screen the zone, good job by Butler just getting penetration. It's just a same stuff you would run against man. You can run right here. And that's a perfect spot to get Williams with that left hand.
Hit him so hard he knocked his sideburns off. Williams at the free throw line, 64% from the stripe this season. Here's our NBA Saturday primetime game on ABC and ESPN+, the association's best rivalry, 302nd all-time meeting between the Lakers and the Celtics. Coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Amari Williams bangs them both home.
Really impressive response by Kentucky after getting down early, loud crowd. Things weren't fluid at all on the offensive end, but found a way. It's been by committee for Kentucky to get this lead.
Noah and Perry both to the bench. Perkins with a fancy move. Gray, thunderous follow. That won't go. Chandler running the floor. Late pass from Brea, but Bates commits his second personal foul in the span of 15 seconds.
Missouri doesn't convert on that one, but it's the same play. They just did it on the left-hand side. They see that defender drop coverage, and then look at Williams. He's going to get that second screen, so it's 2 ball screens, and then they're just unable to convert. But same play that Perkins got that big dunk on the right side with.
Lob out to Chandler. Wanted to mention that yeoman's effort that Perry and Noah gave Kentucky, the 2 freshmen from the state, coming in and giving quality minutes for Kentucky during this run to take the lead. Here's Chandler from the corner. Knocked out of bounds by the Cats. Missouri, 29% from the floor. 3 of their 7 makes have come from behind the arc. They're just a different team when they don't run, and even more so when they don't get to the free throw line. Big chunk of their scoring. Grill. Blocked by Chandler. Numbers for the Cats, 4 on 2. Amari Williams, freight train, fouled by Perkins. He wasn't going to stop until he ran right through the stanchion. Under 4 timeout at Mizzou Arena. Number 19, Kentucky, after a slow start, has found its rhythm. 4-point lead for the Cats.
Josh Malcolm Zubin coming up on the Jeep Halftime Report. It's the penultimate day of college basketball's regular season. All the scores and highlights you need to know. Got you covered at the half. What have we seen in the first?
You know, this is interesting for Kentucky. They've kind of had to grind it out. They've made 5 threes, but we've talked about it. Can Kentucky win a game in the tournament when they've not shot as well and they've had to grind it out? Today it's been a good showing for Kentucky. They showed they can do that.
Yeah, and they also have 10 points off of turnovers. I think that's key in the game. They're creating some offense with their defense. Missouri, though's got to defend the 3-point line against this Kentucky team.
Tom, we were on the verge of watching one of the greatest single-season turnarounds in SEC history with what Mizzou is doing. We'll see you at the half.
All right, Zubin, thanks. It really is fascinating what Dennis Gates has accomplished this year versus Missouri having a winless season in the league last year. What's the difference between this year's Dennis Gates' team and last year?
I thought he was talking about you as a play-by-play.
As long as you're improving.
You get most improved in my book, Tom. I think you've been really good. You were like kind of 0-18 last year.
Yeah, thanks.
But, no, I think the year 1 success, you can't underestimate how much that helped going through an 0-18 season where the team, the roster, the program, everybody knew this guy was up for the task. And the self-awareness to say, all right, we've had some bad breaks, yes, with the injuries, but there's some things that we got to fix with our roster too. And we've seen them get to the free throw line better. We've seen them add better depth at the 5 spot with guys like Josh Gray. And they've done just a terrific job at getting better at what they do with the transition and the live ball turnovers while also trying to help some of the weaknesses that have haunted the past couple seasons.
Another one coming for Amari Williams. Injuries played a key role in Missouri's struggles last year. Mentioned Caleb Grill was injured for a good chunk of the season, especially during conference play. John Tonji, who's having a sensational year for Wisconsin, was on this Missouri roster last year. He barely saw the floor. And there was a point late in the year where my take was that both Tonji and Grill could have been on the floor, but Dennis Gates made the executive decision with each player saying, you know what, it's better if we don't burn a year for either one of these guys, and Tonji and Grill both taking advantage of it. Chandler with a burst to the baseline, finds Carr. Carr got off balance, but still got it to roll home. He's got 8. Largest lead of the game for the Cats, up 8.
That's a great drive by Chandler. Catches it on the go, attacks that closeout.
Missouri's on pace for its worst field goal percentage in a single half at home this year. Cruz off the bench has missed a couple of threes. Kentucky working on a 6-0 run. Butler's got him on skates, and Carr can't finish, and now open floor for Anthony Robinson through traffic. Now Gray, and he's fouled.
Frenetic pace, a couple missed opportunities. Great end-to-end speed by Lamont Butler, but misses the bunny after he got the angle. And then look at this. This is how you drive a closeout. When they say attack closeouts, that's what you got to do if you're Chandler. Not the triple threat. There's a time and place for it, but he drives the closeout, gets the penetration, gets those paint points, again, that's where Missouri's been at their worst, is defending the paint, and Kentucky starting to get there now. 8 paint points on the night.
Well, Kentucky has been a great two-point shooting team all season, did not get off to a good start. SEC Story premieres Monday night. Volunteer for Life. Your teammate Chris Lofton now makes his home in Lexington in his very private cancer battle during the 2007-2008 season. Begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. I really want to watch that, but then I learned that you have a role in the show.
Well, they did invite me for an interview, and I thought it was just getting testimonies from players that Chris Lofton looked off his entire career. As you see right there, I mean, wide open, this little circle back pass, just reverse pivot, hit me. But you can see the defeated look on my face of, here we go again. Yay, Chris.
I mean, only one of the best shooters in college basketball history. Why wouldn't he give it up to you?
That's going to be an awesome story. Tune in for that one. This guy's remarkable, as you mentioned. Kept it private throughout his senior year, fought through cancer, and has lived to tell about it. And just one of the best examples, greatest teammate I've ever had.
He seemed to up his game when Tennessee matched up with Kentucky, and he was wearing the big orange uniform.
Yeah, one of the great underdog stories you'll ever see.
Tigers have missed their last 6 field goal attempts. Meanwhile, Kentucky starting to put it together. Williams with the deuce. Kentucky came in 3rd in the country at 57% from 2. Cats missed their first 8 from 2-point range today.
What happens there? Pierce tried to gamble and get that steal. That's fine if you get it. If you don't, you put your defense in a bind.
Mitchell on Williams. Tough move to try to work inside, but good great length. And Mark Mitchell gets him to the rim and in.
Really physical drive there and great patience with a pivot. Got to his spot.
Under 2 to play in the first half. Brea circles it back out. Carr with a matchup inside on Jacob Cruz. Brea dancing on Pierce. Says, I'll take it. Nobody else needs to touch it.
Man, you don't want to be on an island with Kobe Brea. You just know it's a matter. You know he's going to shoot the 3. He knows he's going to shoot the 3, and you still can't stop it.
Better off being on an island with Gilligan. Here's Mitchell. Right around Butler, who's playing with 2. Mark Mitchell's got back-to-back buckets for Mizzou.
I think Butler tries to do something more aggressive there if he didn't have the 2 fouls, as you mentioned.
Cruz is in Brea's shorts.
And that's a better matchup now for Missouri.
Turns into a fadeaway. Kobe Brea taking over. He's got 11 of Kentucky's 35. And Kentucky will use a timeout with 1:08 to play in the half. Trying to grab it. A couple of quick possessions before the half ends.
Well, you want to take advantage of the switching for Missouri. Brea likes his matchup, says, all right, step back. 3 ball in your eye. Missouri says, that's fine. We're going to get a more lockdown defender on you. He says, try again. Next man up. Go to the bench. Send somebody else in. Try to guard me. Nobody can right now.
Burger King has a deal for all. $5 duo answers hunger's call. $7 trio, more options for y'all. Which one will you choose? At BK, have it your way.
What if your best hair day was every day?
Elvive Hyaluron Plus Plump with hyaluronic acid. 2 times more hydration transforms your hair for up to 72 hours. Work that bounce. Elvive Hyaluron Plus Plump by L'Oreal Paris.
You're worth it.
Kobe Brea is shooting lights out after a sluggish start for Kentucky.
And I love his story of becoming such an incredible 3-point shooter. Any hooper that's been to an outdoor court has seen and dreaded seeing one of those rims that's a double rim. When you see a double rim, you're like, I hate playing on these. This is the worst court you could ever ask for. Kobe Brea embraced it and said, I'm going to learn how to be a lights-out shooter by being consistent on a double rim. And that's what he did in his childhood. First reported by Chris Dortch with Blue Ribbon. Great story. So young guys, every time you see that double rim, think of Kobe Brea and figure out how to get it to go in. If you can make it on a double rim, you can make it anywhere.
UK goes zone for the first time. Mitchell on Williams. That's a fun matchup, and Mitchell has gotten the better of him the last few trips.
Really nice job by Mitchell. I think a lot of that is just trying to pick up a second foul on Williams, but managed to make the tough 2 regardless.
So Sluggish first half for Missouri, just 33%. A Kentucky push-off. That'll be charged to Carr. That's his second. So foul trouble in this first half. Butler, Owe, Carr, and Garrison each have a pair.
And that's what I like, trying to really be aggressive on the perimeter players. And you see how Kentucky loves to back cut as Missouri wants to run them off the three-point line. That's the right call.
9.5 second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Williams takes a seat for two, replaced by Garrison. Noah back on the floor for Kentucky as well. A rare Marcus Allen sighting, his first playing time today. Mitchell on Garrison. Mitchell leans in and gets it.
Left hand, right hand, which way you want it. He's giving it either way.
Shot clock off. Here's Chandler. No one picks him up, and he buries the three. Last second for Missouri. Caleb Grill, midcourt. Just off the front of the rim. Colin Chandler's first bucket of the game extends Kentucky to a 9-point lead. The Cats are 17-1 when leading at the half this season. Our score at the break in Columbia. Kentucky 38, Missouri 29. Let's get to the studio. Zubin, Josh, Malcolm, gentlemen. From Columbia, Missouri, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. What a matchup today between two high-scoring teams. Kentucky has been throwing them in from deep. 7 made threes for this Kentucky team, including Kobe Bryant, who was unconscious for a minute there. Tom Hart alongside Dane Bradshaw. Slow start for Kentucky. They were pretty sloppy early on, but once they found their rhythm, it's a Kentucky team we've seen at its best.
Yeah, I thought it was the role players that really stepped up that got the lid off the rim. They had been settling for some of those short mid-range shots, but the role players stepped up. Noah shot ready there on the three, and then we saw Perry hit one as well, and then that led to Brea just catching fire, and it was just time after time. 7 of 12 from deep. When you see Chandler, as that crowd was getting into it, Missouri was starting to get some of that momentum heading to half. The silencer by Chandler. And then you see here that Missouri got off to that really nice start, but ultimately the three-point shot from Kentucky. And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't point out the fact that they have held Missouri to just 2 fast break points so far in this game. That is the key to beating the Missouri Tigers.
Missouri trailing at home for the 3rd time this season. They trailed Cal at home by 16. Came back to blow them out. Trailed A&M at home, but lost that one. Perkins guarded by Brea. Behind the screen, Perkins lets it fly. And Carr with the rebound. Perkins is a 30% shooter from deep. Last 12 minutes, Kentucky really turned it up. Cats made 12 of their last 21 shots. Robinson got his hands in on Butler. Kentucky not afraid to use some clock. Brea fires a three. May have made contact with him, but no whistle. Always skipped to Butler. Mismatch on Mitchell. Williams working on Gray.
He just will not turn right. When he gets the ball in the post, he is going left almost every single time. I think if Williams would spin right every once in a while, he'll get more looks on that strong hand.
We got a whistle, and that's going to go against Williams. It's a second on Amari Williams. Missouri only went to the free throw line 7 times in the first half. They are 2nd in the country in free throws made. They are 3rd in the country in free throws attempted per game. 20 of 27 on average. So they're well below their season average.
Kentucky did a nice job in the first half with Butler. After he got that second foul, they didn't sit him the entire rest of the half. They still found a way to get Butler in the game, and he played responsibly with those 2 fouls. Now he can play a little bit more free here in the second half.
Mitchell has 5 makes from the floor. The rest of the team only 6. Kansas City native who started his career at Duke, and he goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Oweh. Got it. Otega Oweh's first triple of the game. He's coming off of a 24-point performance against LSU.
Keep an eye out for him. Just 2 points in the first half, but his production just always seems to go up in the second half. The longer the game goes, the better he gets.
Robinson can't shake Butler. Finds Perkins on the back cut. Carr with the rejection. 4-on-2 for Kentucky. Away we go. Blew the layup. After a make from deep, he was too close that time. See what he does here. Step through, off the window and in.
Oweh gets the bucket, but Andrew Carr was everywhere on those past 2 possessions. Oweh got beat back door. Carr saves it with a block. Oweh blows the layup. Carr gets it back on the interception, kicks it ahead. Great plays by number 7.
Good teammates clean up the other guy's mess, just like you did at halftime. Anthony Robinson, the second with his first bucket.
And they've got to get something out of him. 0 for 5 in that first half. Did a good job being physical with Butler, but he's got to get some production in the scoring column.
Williams throws on the brakes. Here's Carr left open on the wing. Splash. Kentucky red hot coming out of the break.
This is worrisome if you're Missouri, because not only are they red hot, but they look free-flowing on that end of the court.
Largest lead of the game for the Cats. Perkins out to Mitchell. Same spot he drilled. Seemed like a game winner against Kansas. Biggest win of the season for Missouri, at least at the time, through season number 1. 16 for Mitchell.
I like the adjustment here. Show some zone. Make Kentucky think a little bit on this end.
Oweh, back door, fouled by Gray.
Well, here's the scramble. Here, Carr coming in to save the day. And then after Oweh missed the layup, Carr says, no problem, I'll give you a second chance. Great kick ahead. Really good effort by Carr. And Oweh takes advantage of a second opportunity.
So here's Otega Oweh. 2 years as an Oklahoma Sooner, first year with the Wildcats. He's a 4-star recruit coming out of Blair Academy in New Jersey. What a difference maker he can be. 2 wins, he scores 26 a game. Last 4 games and the 2 losses, he's only had 3.
What a performance he had in the second half at Oklahoma against his old school. Just put the team on his back, scored the final 18. Including the game winner. Showed you what kind of heart this kid has.
He's a better second half player. Numbers support that. Here's Mitchell. Got a half step on Williams. As we can. He says, why not use 2? And a flex after the jam for Mark Mitchell, who's got Mizzou on his back.
He has really done a nice job throwing his shoulder into the defender, getting where he wants.
Mizzou Arena coming alive. Perkins gamble, Brea mid-range. Made him pay.
It just seems like every time this crowd has gotten their loudest, Kentucky's come up with a shot.
Bates being aggressive. A rarity. Gray cleaning up, no. Second chance, no. And Mitchell fights for it, but Oweh comes out with the loose ball.
And 5 on 4 if they'll push it.
Butler. He has Brea waiting in the corner. Oweh takes it himself. Gray was all over Williams' back. Give him a ladder next time. Perkins got some space, and that goes against Missouri. Chicken wing for Perkins. His second personal foul takes a bucket away. We got a little chaos on the court. Things are getting interesting in Columbia. 12-point Kentucky lead. Missucky, Dad, that's a bad t-shirt. I mean, couldn't we have gone with Kenuri or Kenzu, but Missucky? What? Let's think about it. Let's take a look at the All-State Tournament predictor. Let's turn our attention to numbers instead of letters now. Chance to receive the 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. I was talking with Bruce Pearl midweek after their game against A&M. He said, I really hope we can finish strong. Keep that 1 seed. I feel like the hay's in the barn. I mean, they've got a 6-stroke lead, and they're already in the clubhouse, but All-State Tournament predictor says 91% and 1% chance at a 1 seed. And Florida playing great lately, climbing up that ladder.
Yeah, and Florida trying to avoid what happened to Tennessee. They got that huge win, as Tennessee did, and then Tennessee lost to Ole Miss. The Gators host Ole Miss I'm sure Todd Golden's telling his team, and he has their full attention on just how good that Rebels team is under Chris Beard. They're doing some sensational things in year 2 down there in Austin.
More Sonic blockbusters to go today, including the Iron Bowl of basketball in the jungle, and then we finish on Tobacco Road with Carolina and Duke. Perkins gets whistled for his foul. That's his 3rd. The Indianapolis native who started his college career in Iowa. We'll see Marcus Allen again. Dennis Gates goes deep into his.
Well, regardless of who's in the game right now, Missouri's got to get some offense from their defense. Just 3 steals in this game. They average close to 10. They've got to get those live ball turnovers, try to get something going on the other end of the court transition where they thrive.
Grill forced to chase Brea. Here's Carr on the other side. Butler in the paint. Great finish for guys playing hurt. Nearly fell on that left shoulder.
And no turnovers so far in this game with Butler. He has controlled the pace and tempo on that end of the court.
Well, that's 25 in gold. Mark Mitchell has 13 of Missouri's last 15 points. He waits in the corner. Bates takes a turn. Allen fights for the rebound, and it's to the Golden Girls. It'll be Mizzou basketball. That's the kind of ball Dane Bradshaw would have dived after.
I can multitask.
Yeah, why not? Perkins stays in the game, playing with 3. They can't get Grill open. Fantastic defense by Owe.
You nailed it. Really good job. Not just trailing them, but staying glued.
Brea's hands results in a knockaway. Missouri has 14 to shoot now on a baseline out of bounds. Mitchell will take it into the backcourt. He's guarded by Garrison from the top of the key. Mitchell got a bump from Garrison, who locked him up. And that is the 3rd personal on the 6'10" sophomore.
Well, and Mitchell's been terrific in this. He's got 18 points on 7-11, and so many of those have been tough 2s. I just don't think that's a recipe to come down 14. And so Mitchell has been their best offense so far, but that's not going to bring you back. They've got to get some of this 3-point shooting going with Grill. They've got to get stops on the end of their court, preferably live ball turnovers. And on top of that, even if Kentucky does score, they have not done a good job getting the ball out of the net and kicking it ahead the way they ordinarily do.
Yeah, Missouri's been stuck in the mud, and Grill loses it across the end line. Like the demolition derby at the Boone County Fair, they're just banging into each other.
Yeah, that's just not where you want to try to inbound the ball. A 2-foot pass right next to each other in traffic. Kentucky, give them credit, blowing things up on that end of the court.
8th turnover of the game for Missouri. Grill's been working his tail off in the defensive end, trying to keep up with Owe and company. Here's Butler on Allen. Got him in the air. And then Allen rips it away from Carr. Second chance foul. And Carr going to the free throw line.
Carr has remained so active in this game on both ends of the courts. And the stats will show if you can end your possession on a cut, your points per possession are going to go up. And as Butler got stuck there, everybody else is standing except Carr. And he makes a cut, bails out his teammate, and gets rewarded for it.
And so the team dad, Andrew Carr, has another free throw coming his way. He's a grad student, started his career at Delaware, then played at Wake Forest for a couple of seasons.
And a lot of attention on Butler and his health, and obviously the story of Robinson being out, and Kirk Risa announced that he will not be back this season. But just as important, Andrew Carr is getting back to his old self. He battled through some of his lower back injuries, and he's starting to look like the player he was at the beginning of the season.
Kentucky has scored 16 points off of those 8 Missouri turnovers. Cruz replaces Allen now. And Kentucky on a 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes. Missouri squad that has lost 2 in a row and 3 of 4. It was an uninspiring performance in their loss to Oklahoma in the midweek. Here's Cruz. First bucket for Jacob Cruz, who takes 70% of his shots from 3. Owe matched up with Grill now. Carr wants a touch. away. Got it.
Time and time again, when Missouri makes a big shot, Kentucky has answers. We saw Chandler do it to end the half. We saw Brea hit a mid-range. That time, Owe hits a mid-range.
Owe getting it going in the second half as he has all season. Mitchell rolls it home. Third on Amari Williams, and Mark Mitchell with a chance for a three-point play. This is his third consecutive 18-point game, longest streak of his career.
Well, he has clearly been their best offense, and he has made tough shots look easy in this game. 8 of 12, and I can just about guarantee you all of those have been contested shots at the rim.
Talked with Mark back in December about the Missouri-Kansas rivalry. It was a huge win for the Tigers, knocking off #1, and immediately the discussion turned to comparing it to Duke, Carolina, and we get that version on Tobacco Road later tonight. And his takeaway, as somebody who played in both, was just the excellence of Duke and Carolina year in, year out. Make that an incredible rivalry a step ahead. Here's Cruz again. And Brea bumps him.
I like the drive by Cruz, but I want to continue to get this ball to Mitchell, especially after Williams just picked up that third foul. So he's going to be playing a little bit hesitant and go at him the same way you have all game long.
So you mentioned the fact that it's not as efficient trading 2s and 2s or 2s for 3s. At what point does Mitchell now gets a breather? Just going to ask, at what point does Missouri's post play open up some of the perimeter? They'll be forced to go to the perimeter here.
I think the bigger thing is you just have been unable to get stopped. Second half, Kentucky shooting nearly 50%. And they just got to follow up a score with a stop and try to cut it this lead.
Perkins has Brea on his backside. Kentucky leads by 11. They're on their feet again here in Columbia. Amari Williams fouled, and he's going to the line. Williams would gingerly make his way to the stripe. He was holding his left side. Foul charge that Aiden Shaw just entered the game.
And what a luxury it is for Mark Pope to be able to hit your 7-foot point center outside the three-point line and trust him to barrel in there out of control. And I think, 2 years ago, before the block charge rule came into effect, guys are standing in there trying to take that to the chest, get a cheap foul. But now you see guys jumping more vertically. Advantage to the offense.
UFC 313 is tonight in Vegas, highlighted by the light heavyweight title fight and Justin Gaethje's return to the octagon. Prelims begin at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN News and ESPN Plus in English and Spanish. The main card begins at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on pay-per-view. To buy the main card, go to espnplus.com/PPV. So Williams into double figures, replaced by Almanor. And I'm surprised Dennis Gates doesn't counter with Mark Mitchell immediately.
This seems like the game we were expecting. Two high-powered offenses, 2 of the top 10 in the country, and now we're starting to see a flow for each of them in the half court.
Almanor whistled for a foul. And Missouri 2 away from the bonus with 12:21 to play in regulation. Kentucky has smothered every baseline out-of-bounds play that's been drawn up for Missouri's shooters. The Tigers just lob it in. They'll set up the offense with Anthony Robinson the second. Robinson working on Butler, reach in, steal it by Brea. Butler ahead. Chandler running the floor, converts.
Missouri wanted to get something better, and so anytime you're just going to do an ISO and go on Butler, good luck. I mean, that's not a guy you're going to blow by and try to isolate.
Cruz on Carr. Beautiful move to get Carr in the air. First 2 for Jacob Cruz. Missouri has now made 4 in a row. Butler left Robinson behind. Again, it's Chandler. 3 from the corner. And now Missouri will try to run on the make. Ahead to Cruz. This is the pace we expected from Missouri on makes or misses. Cruz has 7, and we got a timeout on the floor. Number 19, Kentucky leading 15th ranked Missouri 62-48. Back to Columbia in a moment. Well, Kentucky getting a chance to run thanks to elite defense.
Well, and great advanced passing there by Butler and Chandler sprinting the court, good spacing, and then Butler once again penetrate, kick. Really simple game when you can space the court with shooters and you got a ball handler that can penetrate.
And let's review this season for Kentucky. Mark Pope took the job on Masters Sunday. He sold out Rupp Arena, immediately injected new life into this program. The win against Duke in Atlanta was huge. Went to Gonzaga, got another one, and then injuries really took their toll on this team, along with the toughest conference we've seen in college basketball. Highlights including sweeping Tennessee, 2 of their 9 quad 1 wins.
It seemed like every time they got adversity, they responded, and they would lose a game or so that you shake your head at a little bit if you're a Kentucky fan, and then they would respond with a huge win, the likes of sweeping Tennessee, as you saw. And I've been so impressed by what Coach Pope has been able to do in year 1.
Butler trap, gives it up. Almanor off of Cruz's knee. That'll be a Missouri kick. Kentucky first 9 minutes, just 2 for 12. 19 for their last 32. Mark Pope's team has turned it up. We have a timeout on the floor after the previous team called timeout by Missouri. Dennis Gates looking for any edge he could possibly find. Championship Sunday is almost here. Tomorrow morning, the women's game day crew will be in Greenville, South Carolina, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Get you set for 6 title games, including these 3 on ESPN. The ACC championship matchup begins at 1 Eastern, followed by the SEC, and we finish up with the Phillips 66 Big 12 title on the line. Great afternoon of championship women's hoops. Meanwhile, Missouri looking for some magic. How about Brady Cook? At 23 game in Lexington, Missouri used a fake punt to come from behind after trailing by 2 touchdowns. Brady Cook threw for 1, ran for 1. It was a huge win for Missouri. And a tough loss for Kentucky. Here's Otega Owe. Owe leaves it short. Kentucky has 4 players in double figures out of their 62-point effort this afternoon. Almanor takes a seat. Carr replaces him. Williams remains on the bench for Kentucky with 3 personal fouls. Marquez Warwick is in the game for Missouri, number 1 lurking in the corner. He is combustible as an offensive player. So is this guy. Caleb Grill for 3.
See if that's the one that really gets them going. A chance to get a stop, followed by a score, cut this thing into single digits, and really create that home court advantage.
Missouri 18-1 in this building this season. Owe picks up Gray. Butler guarded by Cruz. Got deep. Put him to sleep with the fadeaway.
You got to sit on his right hand. 78% of the time he drives, that's going to his right, and they just let him get that straight line direction.
Warwick behind Gray's screen. He's a Lexington native, Henry Clay High School. Perkins turned his ankle. Owe rips the ball away. And a left hand finish into the front times.
The points off turnovers are becoming a huge part of this game. Now 20 for Kentucky as they are beating Missouri at their own game with some of those deflections leading to live ball turnovers and then buckets on other ends.
It may have been a bang of the knees for Perkins. He's lost his footing. And he can barely get back down the court.
It's been another terrific second half by Owe. He's got 10 points on 4 of 8 shooting. Something about the second half that he just really thrives in once he gets a feel for the game.
And so Perkins up to the bench. Dennis Gates came out to have a staring contest with Jeff Hartness underneath the basket as Perkins was being tended to. Chris Perrin is the athletic trainer for Missouri. Here at Norm Stewart Court, where Kentucky made its way through a sluggish start to this game to get a lead all the way out to 16. Cats are 11-0 this season when leading by 16 or more. Offensive rebound. Warwick tries. Got it. And the Mexican native has his first bucket. 1,000-point score at Henry Clay High School.
We said a lot about the inability for Missouri to get stops, but if Kentucky could string together some, this would be a 20-point game, blowout city. But Missouri continues to make timely buckets on that end of the court, that time off the offensive rebound. And they just beat them with the 50-50 ball. That's a big top three to get them in it, but they just are not going to win a shootout. Again, can they turn on Kentucky over? Only 6 turnovers on the day for Kentucky, in large part thanks to Butler leading the show here.
Teams are scorching hot. They combined to make 11 of their last 13. Carr looking over the top of Grill. Nobody's open. 10 to shoot. Carr trying to drive on Grill. 7 to shoot. Here's Olay. 4 to shoot. Left it short. Rebound carried out of bounds by Missouri. Cruz and Mitchell. 12-point Kentucky lead with 9 to play.
My question is, did it hit the rim? I think they're going to take a look at it.
I thought Olway's shot hit the rim.
I think that's what they're talking about, though. Was it all backboard or rim? Yeah, I think it grazed the bottom of the rim. Reset to 20.
Travis Perry re-enters for Kentucky as Butler gets a breather. Butler only played 8 minutes in the first half due to foul trouble. Don Daly is going to put the headset on and take a further look at this one. Shouldn't take long, right? Mark Pope going to steal a timeout. Mark Pope is one of 5 Division I head coaches at his alma mater that also played in the NBA. And you can feel kind of that.
After review, the ball hit the bottom of the rim. Shot clock is reset to 20.
With the way Mark Pope coaches, not just stylistically, but analytically, you can feel that NBA influence in the way he coaches.
Well, and I love the self-awareness when he talks too. I mean, he knows he's continuing to learn as well. He goes, yeah, you know, we haven't done a great job at this year, or we got to figure out a better way to do this, whether it's rotations. And this guy is so smart, and he does it in such a humble way. Like when you're talking to him, at least for me, I'm like, I'm talking to somebody way smarter than me, and he's very humble about it.
5 top 10 wins for Kentucky. Missouri gets a takeaway.
Well, that feels like the first stop in what, like 3 or 4 game minutes, it feels like.
Missouri had 18-point comeback in the SEC-ACC Challenge against Cal. Meanwhile, Kentucky has never, this season, has yet to blow a 16-point lead. Perry back to the bench. And Colin Chandler replaces him. Chandler coming off a season-high 18 minutes in a game against LSU, playing with a lot of confidence. Missouri gets it to Mitchell. Drill off the screen.
No Butler, no Williams for Kentucky. If you're going to make a push, right now is a terrific opportunity for Missouri.
And scores on the floor with Warwick, Drill, and Mitchell. Warwick now has Carr on it. Wants to drive in the big guy. Got it moving, but had nowhere to go. Nearly walked with it. 2 to shoot. Back to the corner. And a 3-ball from Marquez Warwick. First time Missouri's been within single digits since a minute and a half in. Brea left alone. Carr offensive board. Second chance for the Cats. Into Garrison. Skips to Chandler. Cats using some clock. 9 to shoot. Chandler an air ball. Just barely grazed the bottom of the iron. Windows open for Mizzou. Here's Mitchell. No. Cruz fights for the rebound. Goes up against Carr, got a piece of it. Great defensive effort inside by the 6'11 Andrew Carr. Chandler shovels it to Garrison, who blows the layup. And then Mitchell whistled for the reach-in. Missouri's been unable to turn the lights out on Kentucky or vice versa. The Cats' lead has been whittled to 9. 7:23 to play in Columbia. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Deli Boys. All episodes are now streaming on Hulu. Fantastic matchup today. Final regular season game, Missouri and Kentucky, in a series that has been dominated by the Wildcats. And second half today, both teams have turned it up, including Mizzou going 5 of 8 from deep, but the 5 turnovers have just crushed it.
Missouri has gotten themselves back in this, not just with their offense, but 4 straight stops.
Garrison leaves it short. Grill lurks in the corner, bottom right of your screen. He hasn't gotten it going today. Warwick can score in bunches. Had Grill for a split second, couldn't get it to him. So out to Mitchell, 6 to shoot. Mitchell now matched up with Chandler, goes by him and into Garrison, gets fouled and will go to the line. That is number 4 on Brandon Garrison.
Good decision by Warwick, and nice job by Mitchell just making himself available as Warwick picked up his dribble, was in no man's land, and get the ball to Mitchell, get out of his way. 27 on a really efficient afternoon.
So here's Mark Mitchell. He was a McDonald's All-America coming out of high school. Went to Bishop Miege in Kansas City, then Sunrise Christian in Wichita before heading out to play for Duke. He's got 21 today. 2 years at Duke, made 67 starts, including a run to the Elite 8 last year. The Kansas City, Kansas native teams up with Tamar Bates, both from the other side of the river, to give Missouri a veteran scoring punch, but it's been Mitchell who has delivered so far today.
And Tom, we mentioned when Williams and Butler were out of the game, you felt like, man, that's an opportunity for Missouri to really cut this lead. And they've gone on an 8-0 run the last 2.5 minutes. The 2 stars and back in for Kentucky though.
Here we go, 7-point game, under 7 to play. Poked away by Gray into the backcourt with 15 to shoot. Butler will set it up. 10 on the clock. Shakes Grill. Stolen away. Warwick goes behind the back. Working on Brea. The step through. Good! Marquez Warwick has 8 in the second half. Missouri within 5. Timeout, Kentucky. And Mizzou Arena is about to burst at the seams. One of the reasons Missouri is so good at home, Dane, is what we just saw. They're able to turn teams over. They've only lost 1 home game all season at 18-1.
Uncharacteristic play by Butler. Warwick right in the passing lane, and he sees the defender retreating. Good job attacking. Smooth, patient steps there to get all the way to the rim. And all game long, it just seemed like the timely buckets of Kentucky kept this crowd quiet. Yet the last 3 minutes, a 10-0 run, and that's Missouri basketball right there. Has let their defense lead to offense, and why they have been so tough right here on this court.
18-1 at home, 3-8 on the road. The scoring is nearly 10 points better. The shooting is across the board better. And the style of play feels like it's easier to be disruptive defensively when you're on your home court.
Yeah, I think so. And right now, too, like Butler and Williams, I've been resting. But as a player, Tom, just because I'm not tired doesn't mean I'm in the flow of the game. And so it takes a possession or two to get back in the rhythm, see if they can find a way to run through Williams, who's been their point center all year long.
Beautiful pass from Butler, but Williams got a shove, or at least a hip check from Josh Gray. It's a second on Gray. Kentucky in the bonus with 6:10 to play. Mari Williams is only a 64% free throw shooter, but he was perfect today. 6 for 6.
formation. Right? Oh.
And so a second chance for Williams.
Samar Bates snuck in. I mean, gosh, you got a chance to secure that rebound, get another stop. You don't want to give Williams a second chance despite his free throw percentage.
Another chance to stare down the antlers. Kid does push-ups like Dane's workout class. Williams earns another. Is that a CrossFit push-up that we just saw?
Yeah, I've got those. My favorite movie, Little Giants, was watching that with the kids. So my pull-ups are with a little bit of a boost. I've got a stool that helps me get my chin above it. I'm a little bit better at those than I am.
It was a 7-point game with 7 to play. Now a 6-point game with 6 to play. Kentucky has shut down Caleb Grill today. Into Gray. Bad footwork got stuck underneath and a Missouri turnover.
Yeah, Grill was working time and time again to get open. Owe has done a terrific job just staying glued to him. I mean, it's easy to tell somebody, hey, go out there and shadow that guy. Don't leave him. But when you're having to fight through screen after screen and do it, Owe has done a really nice job on Grill in this one, who's only gotten 6 looks at the rim.
Meanwhile, Kentucky, last 4 minutes, 0 for 4. Batted away by Warwick. Bray at midcourt. Carr saves it. Owe! Yes! Otega Owe with a second chance for Kentucky.
Carr continues to make big plays that aren't going to show up in the stat sheet. Just finding those 50-50 balls.
Warwick all along. Out of bounds off of Kentucky.
This is a scramble here off a terrific deflection by Missouri, and it just becomes a loose ball situation that Carr finds a way to get to. He's going to get credit for the assist, but just his ability to make plays and be a cleanup guy on the defensive end and offensive end has truly been an X factor in this one.
13 second-half points for Otega Owe. Andrew Carr with 13 points and 9 boards. Doing the dirty work. Butler's got blood exposed, and he's going to have to go over and chat with Brandon and get cleaned up. And so Mark Pope will steal a timeout. That was with Dennis Gates. It's like when you cut yourself shaving this morning. Just coagulate that stuff, put a wrap on it, show up ready to play. It's the last time you heard the word coagulate.
That's why you're a pro, man. That's why I give you most improved this year. I mean, it's not just Dennis Gates' turnaround of his program this year. It's Tom Hart, man.
Coming back like
where you were last year, you're just in the cellar. Look at Grill. He's going to continue to move, and Owe just stays with him, never lets him get a touch. And the challenge is Gray is not at his best on those slipping of screens. He's a really good defender on ball screens and one of their best rebounders. I think that's where you see Mitchell right now in this smaller lineup at the 5.
Kentucky has extended the lead to 9. Mitchell with the ball fake. In between his legs on Williams. Carr digs in. 5 to shoot. Cruz from deep. Bates with the rebound. Up and in for Tamar Bates on his senior day.
They have lived with the second chance points. That's now 13-2 advantage Missouri.
And nobody stops Lamont Butler.
So smart with the ball in his hands. He sees a crease, and he gets from point A to the rim so quickly.
Bates slipped on his way in, and he'll charge Kentucky with the foul.
Look how quickly Butler gets to the rim. 2 dribbles, 1, 2. We always talk about playing off 2 feet, and there's a time and place for it. But when you have the advantage and the defender behind you and they're late to rotate, really nice job by Butler going off that 1 foot as fast as he can to the rim.
4:28 to play. Marquez Warwick, 6'3", 190, graduate from Lexington, who started his career as a standout for Darren Horn at Northern Kentucky. Gets 1 more free throw. School record 2,200 points with the Norse, 3-time All-Conference. Part of 81 wins in his career, including a tournament team playing for Darren Horn, whose son Walker is on this Kentucky team. And Warwick drills them both. All 10 points for Warwick have come in the second half. Butler picked up by Mitchell. He loves this matchup. Goes on to breaks. 12 of the shot clock. A timeout taken by Lamont Butler with nowhere to go on the offensive end. 4:09 to play. Kentucky clinging to a 7-point lead. Killers bring us back. Kentucky clinging to a 7-point lead in front of a packed house at Mizzou Arena. Welcome back. Tom Hart alongside Dane Bradshaw. We're just days away from the postseason, and both of these teams have designed at least getting to the second weekend, if not something deeper. How does this atmosphere, everything in this building, prepare them?
I think you could not ask for a better postseason tune-up in terms of quality opponent. You've got styles of play that you're going to match up against you. I mean, the film is out on both teams, and they're having to figure out how do we adjust when everybody knows what our strengths and weaknesses are, find those creases and wrinkles and counters, and both these coaches have done an excellent job. Again, these are two of the top 10 offenses in the country, and we're seeing them play like it here in this second half. And just because you know what they're going to do offensively doesn't mean you're going to stop it. And these are two dangerous teams where this feels like a Sweet 16 type matchup.
By the way, if 14 SEC teams get in, the committee's going to have its hands full spreading them out. Missouri steal by Grill. Here's Bates, and a blocking foul puts Tamar Bates at the free throw line. That is the fourth on Lamont Butler, and that is a big concern for Kentucky if Mizzou can mount a comeback.
That is worst case scenario out of a timeout. Butler felt like he had to use a timeout to begin with when he got stuck with the ball, so you lose one there, and then your out of bounds play gets disrupted by Missouri's zone defense, and to top it all off, Butler gets hit with a blocking foul.
So Tamar Bates at the free throw line. One more coming for Bates, sixth-year player who was a Jordan Brand All-Star in 21, coming out of Piper High School in Kansas City, originally committed to Texas, ended up at Indiana. He committed to Shaka Smart at Texas. That's how long ago Tamar Bates came out of school. Leads down to 5 with 4 to play. Warwick went spilling. Carr in the vacancy. And a foul on the shot by Carr.
Foul call on the 35, Jacob Cruz. That's his first.
They get Cruz for his first.
Carr does a nice job making himself available on the slip there. I think they found saw a bump on the hip on the way up of the shot. Dennis Gates not happy with that call.
Left it short. 79% free throw shooter. 3 for 5 today. What a scene. One of 2. Now 14 for Carr. Second most behind Olway's 15 on this Kentucky side. Grill has just been harassed by Olway all day. Cruz takes it into his hands. Carr with another block. What an effort on both ends for Andrew Carr today.
Well, and the last 2 times Cruz has pump faked in there, Carr has not gone for it. Remember early in the game, he got him on the up and under. It hasn't happened again.
Here's Olway in the paint. Carr, falling jam!
He's been the best player in the game on both ends of the court. He just has done all the little things and the big plays.
Timeout, Missouri. Kentucky has extended the lead to 8 now with 3:15 to play. Dennis Gates wanted a whistle on this end. He's complaining about both ends. He is fired up.
Missouri's gone to this smaller lineup with Mitchell at the 5, and that makes them vulnerable on the glass on the other end. First we'll see Carr again. You got to stay disciplined here. Cruz likes to pump fake when he gets in there. Stay solid. and they're going to push it. And then, of course, Carr right here, just too easy. And again, big Josh Gray, 7-footers on the bench as they do a little bit of offense-defense situation and what they think is the best lineup to try to win this game. Does Missouri, but you're slim down low. And Andrew Carr and Amari Williams are a handful to keep off the glass if you're playing with a small lineup.
3:15 to play. Andrew Carr's got his third double-double of the season. 16 points, 11 boards. He also has a couple of assists in those blocks that you mentioned. This is a Kentucky team that's not loaded with one-and-dones. It doesn't have a bevy of McDonald's All-Americas on it. It is a very proud group of hard workers that collectively probably plays above its talent more than any Kentucky team in recent history. Tega Owe gets caught with a hold. It's his third.
They are the epitome of team, are the Kentucky Wildcats. They'll have to stay that way for the next few minutes because the job is not done. And great job by Grill staying after and drawing that foul. If you can't get open, get yourself to the free throw line. He does with the off-ball foul.
Grill cranks the first of a 1-on-1. You ever find it hard to play on senior day? The emotions and expectations maybe get overwhelming?
Maybe a little bit early, but at this point I don't think anybody's thinking about it. They're trying to figure out a way to win the game as opposed to this could be my last few minutes.
And a foul away from the ball. He's going to go against Cruz, I believe. He's got his hands full trying to match up with the 7-footer Amari Williams. Cruz goes 6'8", 210. Williams 7 feet 262. And he'll go back to the free throw line.
And as good as Kentucky is from three and their fast-paced offense, they get 38 points per game in the paint. That's second best in the SEC. And so, again, you see them when it comes to crunch time, ball screen action, try to get their bigs the ball in the paint.
So another one coming for Williams. And Amari Williams got up to a great start at the free throw line. He made his first 6 today. And now he's 8 of 10. And it's one of those things where Missouri's going with the scouting report, trying to slow this game down and stop the clock. And Amari Williams has made him pay.
Well, I think that's why you see Josh Gray coming in. They went with that small lineup for a bit. But right now, Gray's going to have an impact on this game merely by making them be one and done on this end of the court and then be a big-time screener for Grill.
Grill coming around the screen. Owe chasing. Go Big Blue, chance, ring out Columbia. Mitchell, no. Carr the rebound. And into a lovely couple in Kentucky blue from St. Louis before the game. Here's Owe with the reverse, and he's fouled. And they said, we can't afford tickets at Rupp Arena. We can only catch him on the road. Blue gets in. It's the third on Josh Gray. There's a lot of blue in the building. You think there might be some blue in Nashville next week?
Yeah, I would imagine so. That's Kentucky's spring break right there, and who can blame them? I mean, it's going to be the most anticipated SEC tournament in my lifetime.
Tega Owe at the free throw line. Just 1 of 2 today. Second half, Tega Owe has scored 14 of his 16. That is in line with his average. His shooting percentage jumps by 11 points in the second half versus the first half on average. He goes from 6 points in the first half to 10 in the second.
The mental toughness that takes when you can feel like it's not your night, but then suck it up, keep playing. And he has had some memorable second halves for Kentucky. Not better than that Oklahoma game.
2.5 minutes without a bucket from Mizzou. Worth. Gray there to clean it up. Very nearly 3 seconds. Drill behind the back. Gray fouled, and he's going to the line.
Good job by Gray, keeping that alive. That's what you're in there for, to limit possessions for the opponent and gain extra for your team. And Grill with just a beautiful dime. Gray, not known for having the best hands, but collects it there, gets himself to the free throw line. They're going to need the big fella to step up here. 53% shooter.
Ray started his college career at South Carolina, spent 3 seasons with the Gamecocks. He actually started at LSU back in 2021. Been in double figures one time this season. 2-2.
If you're Kentucky, if you take care of the ball and make free throws, you win this game. If you turn it over and miss free throws, Missouri's got a chance.
2:06 to play. Wait, trapped in the corner. Has nowhere to go with it, and it's taken away. Then Grill lost a handle on it. Crows wanted to fire, but he was covered up as Kentucky recovered. Now he'll fire. Got it! Jacob Crows with the huge 3. He's into double figures. It's a 6-point game. Now Butler spins out of the trap, and they'll get one of the 2 Tigers in the vicinity. It'll be Grill for the reach-in.
Just a big-time contested 3 by Cruz, who anticipated that switch, and even though the 7-footer was coming out to contest, he was ready to pull. Remember, Kentucky just that one timeout, so have to be very selective. Can't tell you how hard it is to do what Butler just did, though, to catch it in that deep corner and split that trap before you get yourself in trouble. Really good play.
Cats 9 of 14 from the free throw line in the second half today. Second Iron Bowl of the season's coming your way. We'll get you to Alabama at Auburn in about 15 minutes. They'll get started in the jungle. Butler bangs them both. The lead back to 8. Bates wants to set a screen for Warwick. And Warwick lets it fly. And Missouri may be out of bullets. Butler ahead to Owe. All alone. Brea. 2 hands in for Cody Brea. Lead to 10. Tigers have a minute 10 to try and make some magic. Owe trying to snuff it out. He's got the rebound, and Kentucky will be going back to the free throw line.
Just really nice discipline by Kentucky. We saw them turn it over once a couple possessions ago, but since then they have handled this pressure with terrific passing. Good finish by Brea. And they're trying to close this one out. A tough road environment, senior night, a ton of emotion, great crowd. This could be just another chapter and such a remarkable first year under Coach Pope.
Another one coming for Owe. This win will guarantee Kentucky finishing above 500 in the SEC. Owe 1 of 2. Down 11 with a minute to play. Cruz into Carr. Step through off the window. Jacob Cruz has a dozen. Grill fouls Owe immediately, stops the clock with 55 seconds left. There's a third on Caleb Grill. And now for today's player of the game, brought to you by Voya. Andrew Carr, 16 points, 12 boards, and so many other elements that don't reach the box score.
I mean, he made everybody around him better. I referenced this before. He was a cleanup guy on the defensive end at times. He was a cleanup guy on the offensive end. And he just kept coming with it. 33 minutes as Butler had some foul trouble. Williams had the foul trouble. Andrew Carr was that constant for Kentucky. And it's just good to see him back feeling close to 100%. This is a Kentucky team that's just been really battling the injury bug. But Andrew Carr, if he's looking like this, and Lamont Butler is starting to get back somewhere near it. Look, 80% of Lamont Butler's better than 0%.
Warwick for 3. Toe may have been on the line. See if that comes to play later. 8-point lead. Oway. It's around Cruz. And will flare it out for Brea. What a year it's been for Mark Pope to build a foundation. His first year as a head coach at his alma mater. It's a 20-win season. He'll finish 2 games above 500 in SEC play, and he is one of the few coaches who's spoken out and said, we are going to Nashville not to play. We're going to the SEC tournament to win it. He knows how much it means to that fan base to have another great run. They haven't had one since Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was wearing Kentucky blue. It was the last great Kentucky run in the SEC tournament.
I mean, to put in perspective, of course, the opportunities in this year's SEC have helped this, but they've taken advantage. They've had 7 wins coming into today over the AP Top 15. That's the most in program history. And a win here, as it looks like they'll close out, would tie Kentucky with the 92-93 Indiana team and 78-79 Duke team for the most top 15 wins ever in a single season.
33 seconds to play. Warwick with another 3. Inbounded to Oway. Grill with the slap foul for his 4th. Pardon me, that's his 5th.
That's his 5th.
So that will bring it in to the home career of Caleb Grill. 8 points on his senior day. He was a fantastic high school athlete at Mays High School in Wichita, Kansas. There are his parents watching from the stands. He said, I love playing high school football because as the quarterback, you are forced into a leadership position. I asked Caleb as he was getting shots up last night, so how do you reflect on what was such an up and down college career? A couple of stints at Iowa State, briefly at UNLV, then a second chance with Missouri. He said, I didn't always make the right decisions. It wasn't always perfect, but I wouldn't have done it any other way.
That guy has as much respect as any player in the SEC does. Tough as nails, has gotten better every single year. So coachable. You see the emotion by the parents because they have witnessed and seen the hard work he's had throughout his entire life. And the story is not over. While they might not go out with a bang like they wanted to on their home court, this is a Missouri team that has everything to play for from this point on.
It looked like a Kentucky throwaway, but the officials say it will be Kentucky basketball that was tipped by Mizzou. Could go to the monitor, but won't. From the mat. Deep in the corner, Brea, awkward inbounds, gets it to Carr. Saves the day once again. Williams gets hammered by Boateng. And that'll put Amari Williams at the free throw line. The foul was on the floor.
You mentioned, Carr, I'm not trying to overstate it, but that is such a tough bounce pass in traffic when you're getting denied. I believe it was Brea taking it out, puts it on the money, but Kentucky has not been very open against this press break. They've just had to go meet that pass with 2 hands, old school style, against a Missouri team that's trying to jump passing lanes.
Well, Carr, 16 points. And he has gotten it done at both ends of the floor.
Well, I think he's also a guy that when you sit there in your late game situation, you're like, all right, where can we get a bucket? You've got Barea curling outside for 3s. You can work through Amari Williams. Butler's terrific in the pick and roll game. But then you got Carr, who can just be a Swiss Army knife. And just catching that ball again in traffic, under control for your big man, that's not easy to do. And when they've got him out there along with Williams, despite the size, you feel like you've got the IQ of 5 point guards on the court, and that's just invaluable.
Missouri was playing for a chance to, with some upsets, lock down the 4 seed in a double bye in the SEC tournament. But the Tigers, if they don't pull this miracle off, will go into Nashville having lost 4 out of its last 5 games. How does that impact how you think of Missouri going into the postseason?
Well, I think they've got to find a way to win games when they're not dominating from the free throw line and they're not turning people over, leading to transition points. That to me, the book is out. All right, you can beat Missouri if you limit their transition and you take care of the basketball. And they've just got to find a way to win some of these games where they're not going to be able to just outscore you in the 80s.
And certainly when you get into a neutral site situation instead of the comforts of this home building. The Tigers are about to drop to 18-2 on the year. Amari Williams from Nottingham, England. One more coming. Plays with Sasha Kalea-Jones on the English national team. He broke the Kentucky assist record for a 7-footer this season, and he nails 2 late. It's the 5th 90-point game for Kentucky in conference play this year.
10 of 12 from the line for the big man. 64% on the year. So stepping up.
Warwick goes into Oweh, and he'll be shooting 3. There's a 4th on Otega Oweh. All right, I asked you what you think about Missouri going forward. What about Kentucky? If the Cats can keep Lamont Butler on the floor, that seems like a big pivot point for the Cats in the postseason.
1,000%. And their work in the non-conference is going to certainly reward them with a favorable seed in the NCAA tournament. So can this team make the Sweet 16? Absolutely. From there, remains to be seen. I mean, they're shorthanded. But look, if you can make it to that second weekend, you can see that Final Four. And so this is a Kentucky team that every time they've been counted out or you think, okay, great season, it's about to go downhill, all they do is respond with some impressive performance.
Jeremy Sanchez getting in the floor late for Tamar Bates. Missouri will have the senior festivities post-game. Warwick with 17 for Missouri. And the Cats will run out the clock. Kentucky goes to 21-10, 10-8 in league play. Missouri drops to 21-10, same record in the league at 10-8. And Andrew Carr and Kentucky come into Columbia and notch a monster win. And they'll hit the postseason with very real momentum in Mark Pope's first season at the helm. 8th win against a top 15 team this season. It's a program record for Kentucky. Final score, Cats 91, Tigers 83 for Dane Bradshaw. Fantastic crew. I'm Tom Hart. Let's get you to Chapel Hill. College game day. Reese Davis, it's all yours.